We've been following the Diddy case somewhat closely, bro. It's been a type of same story, different day type of situation for me, as far as I'm concerned, thus far throughout this trial. But I'll save that for another day. Today, though, one of the male, can I say that, bro? Is the word escort not allowed to be said on YouTube, bro? Anyway, one of the performers that Diddy or Cassie hired for the freak offs has come up on CNN to give his 2 cents on what is taking place. I mean, he out here probably getting his 15 minutes of fame or whatnot, bro. You know what I mean? He can probably get paid handsomely off of what he got to say because everybody want to tune in, just like I'm tuning in right now. But this, bro, goes by the name of the Punisher. Well, he went by that name. I don't know if he's still doing that now, man. But he up on CNN talking about these freak offs. It says the male from Diddy's freak offs offers an apology to Cassie. So let's see what it's talking about. Let go.
Oh, I mentioned that he was a voyeur during the sexual encounters. You were involved with Cassie Ventura directly in those rooms, as you've testified. Were you ever involved with Sean Diddy Combs? Did you two ever have an interaction in those sexual encounters?
No, actually, not one conversation, not even eye contact.
Really?
Yeah.
Did that surprise you?
Well, it was told to me immediately, like on the first encounter, that I was instructed to not look at him, not acknowledge him, not have any interactions with.
By Cassie?
Yeah, by Cassie. So those were the instructions. So I did my best.
Hold on, what did that shit say at the bottom? Male. The Punisher speaks out after testifying. Sheree the Punisher Hayes, author, In Search of Freezer Meat. Type of book title is that? I just want to see what it's about. In search of freezer meat. In Search of Freezer Meat, a story of the male mental health crisis caused by erectile dysfunction and the only true cure no one is talking about, a penile implant. What the hell is this fool? Hold on. Hold on, bro. This took a turn, didn't it? Hold on. Book overview. Erectile dysfunction and low sexual confidence are killing men quietly. I wonder how that connection took place, though, bro, because you got to be able to perform based on his credentials. So I wonder what was the instigator for him to write this book. Anyway, and nobody's really talking about it. Man, y'all about to get me another video, bro, because if anybody is out here struggling with that, dog, I can put bros on. It's easy, bro. Just fix your diet. Stop putting bullshit in your body. Drink water, sleep, and work out, dog, and the blood gonna go. You know what I mean? The blood gonna go. Leave hims alone. Right? You don't need none of them chewies. You don't need none of them, you don't need none of them chewies or them blue pills or the Cialis or the Viagra or none of that, dog. Just get healthy, bro. Matter of fact, dog, bro, hymns, dog, stay away from hymns. You know what I mean? It's contradictory, bro. You know what I mean? If you him, you don't need to rely on nothing else to get you to be him. But they flipping it, dog. To get you to feel like the man, you need to put this poison in your body to get that down there working. Nah, dog, just get healthy. Anyway, another video. Hayes, once a full-blown sex symbol, hit rock bottom when things stopped working. Okay, there we go. Pills didn't help. Advice didn't stick. So he went deeper, looking not just for how to fix it, but why it was happening in the first place. What he discovered changed everything. The problem wasn't just physical, it was mental, and not just about sex either. It was tied to his confidence, his income, his sense of self, even his worth as a man. Most guys never connect the dots. Hey, we can tap into this. This is some night talk ish for that ass, boy. I can understand that connection, bro. If you don't feel like the man, if you don't feel like him, then he ain't gonna work either, bro. Cause he's a reflection upon you. And if your ass ain't right mentally, ain't nothing gonna get him to go either, dog. You know what I'm saying? Confident man, every time. If you're struggling or know a man who is, this book is for you. And yes, women should read it too. You'll finally understand the men in your life in a way you never had before. Sex, self-worth, and mental health, they're all connected. Let's talk about it, man to man. All right, I respect it, bro. I respect it, dog. You know what I mean? Let's continue.
To not look at them, not acknowledge them, not have any interactions with the
By
celebrity.
Cassie?
Yeah, by Cassie. So those were the instructions. So I did my best to follow them to the best of my ability because, initially I did not know who they were. And so I just saw it as an opportunity. I see this stunningly beautiful woman and, $2,000 for this type of interaction was, kind of like a no-brainer in terms of it. So I wanted to follow the directions as much as possible. So there was literally no interaction, I didn't even look directly at them.
Because normally you
Bro,
are.
this is off topic, Bear, but I need to say it. What up? Had I not known bro was an author, a whole author out here, dog, I would be shocked by how articulate this man is, bro. I mean, because I be thinking, if you gotta use your body to make bread, dog, you a dummy. You know what I'm saying? You're all idiots. And I will continue to paint sex workers as idiots, bro. That's all you got to do, right? But I'd be surprised when they be articulate, bro. I mean, dude is red. He don't seem to be working in that industry anymore. Anyway, but that definitely rushes off the screen to me, bro. Is how articulate this man is, bro. Cuz could talk.
Literally no interaction, I didn't even look directly at him.
Because normally you are a dancer, and this was an interaction that would have resulted in sexual intercourse.
Exactly. So,
Okay.
yeah, so this is nuance. It's not something that happens, I've done thousands of parties. This is the only time I was propositioned with something like this, and it was in such magnitude. Like we're in the Trump Hotel, it's like these huge suites, and you can tell this is a very high profile couple. So I just wanted to be as professional for the sex scenario as I would assume was required.
Did you ever travel outside of New York with them?
I did not.
When you were engaged in this encounter and intimate with Cassie Ventura, as you've said on the stand, you were asked about whether you had any notice or any idea how she felt about the interaction, whether she was consenting, whether she was uncomfortable in any way. You testified you did not feel as though she was uncomfortable at all. Can you explain?
Yeah, so there was always, like, before the sexual activity, there was always, like, downtime. So I would be greeted by Cassie, kind of put in a room, and we would have casual conversation.
About how long did that last?
10, 15 minutes, and it would be, consistent. How's work going? How's the parties? How's things? So it seemed like a very cordial, laid-back situation, and I actually believe that the scenario was real. It was like her birthday. This was something they were doing as a couple that wasn't normal. I mean, that wasn't their norm, and I honestly thought I was the only person they were engaging with. So I had almost a belief that I was, wow, like this is a cool thing. Like I'm the person they're choosing for this kind of fetish type of environment. And
Nothing seemed illegal to you or anything out of sorts?
Not even close. Like I didn't even get any thought of anybody being like under the influence of any drugs or anything. It seems like a very, for the circumstance, everybody was just normally in their right state of mind, and this was just something they did for sexual pleasure.
You never saw any violence?
Nothing close.
Interestingly, you say you haven't seen any violence, you didn't see anyone under the influence of drugs, and you didn't have any idea that she was not consenting in some way. Why do you think you were called to testify?
Hey, I'm about to get on my soapbox for a minute too, bruh. I got to, dog. The more I dive into this trial, dog, the less I feel bad for Cassie, bro. She ain't no fucking victim. She is not, bro. She may have been at one point, dog, but nah, dog. I don't hear that shit, bro. I don't hear that shit, dog. I ain't seen the video, bro, but it's been a bunch of credible sources a part of the trial who are aware of what is on some of them videos, bro, and also how she been conducting herself within the trial and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like putting on a show, acting or whatnot, bro. And it's just all speculatory. We'll never know, man. But you asking me, bro, if you stay in this motherfucker for 10 years, being victimized to the extent that they have alleged or that has been proven at this point. But you get paid 30 million, you write a book, you try to sell the book, you've been trying to come up this whole fucking time, bro. You know what I mean? Like, she volunteered to get her ass beat, right? You know what I'm saying? I never want to see a man put her hands on a woman, right? But if a woman gonna stay there and continue getting put to ass, then I mean, what you want me to do? She a victim. Nah, bro, I don't hear that shit. You're a grown ass fucking woman, dog, especially at 28 years old. Dog. I give you 16, 17, 18, 19, even 20, bro. But like, it got to come to a point, bro. Nah, man, this ain't it. I'm not getting my ass beat. I'm not selling my soul, bro. Where my mom at? Where my daddy at? Where my bros at? Get me the fuck up out of here, dog. But she continued to motherfucking stay there, dog. So I want to hear shit about that. You feel me? But as far as them tapes, bro, I'm saying you gotta let me know victims, that have been victimized, have been sexually assaulted or whatnot. Bro, there is allegedly, unless she's like a whole actress out here, man, but from how people are speaking, how she conducted herself, calling, speaking to the escorts or whatnot, she was fully engaged in the freak offs to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? And allegedly, she was out here busting orgasms with these male performers, right? So unless she's just a hellacious actor, right? But we got text messages, we got confirmation from other fools out here that Cassie was with this shit at certain points, right? And if you out here coming to climax in these freak offs, dog, I don't want to hear nothing about no motherfucking victim, bro. I don't want to hear nothing about no fucking victim, dog. If you out here busting O's, bro, you enjoying that shit, all right, you a victim. Nah, dog. No, fam. And I'm not Team Diddy. Fuck Diddy. But I don't want to see this crime victim bullshit, bro, coming out here 10 years later, bro. 10 years later, no, fuck that, bro. Fuck that, dog. Bring some more victims out here. Alleged victims out here so we can get this show going, bro. But they started the trial with putting Cassie out here, trying to get people to feel a certain way, get motherfuckers to be emotionally invested into the trial or whatnot, dog. Yeah, Diddy ain't shit, bro, but these hoes ain't shit either, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like clapback to some of the messages I've been reading, dog. You got a daughter, how dare you? You know what? This would never happen with my motherfucking daughter, dog. It would never happen with my motherfucking daughter, dog. Any woman that finds herself in a position like that was lacking the parental guidance and the parental influence that resulted in a scenario like this, bro. Had a daddy been there, had the mama been there doing the fuck they were doing, Cassie, when they found herself in that situation, out here trying to do whatever the fuck it is to get put on, nah, bro. My daughter gonna see the world, gonna know the world, gonna know what the fuck a real man is, and gonna know how the fuck she need to be treated, where she never gonna have to rely on trying to be anybody's fucking slave. Fuck out of here, bro. Fuck out of here, dog. It's called accountability, fam. I don't want to hear nothing about no grooming. Yeah, 17, 18, 19, 20. Nah, dog. Nah, she was getting paid. She was with Diddy. She got condos. She got cars. She got attention. She got money. She got tip. She got to fuck on other dudes. Fuck out of here, bro. Fuck out of here, dog. Fuck Diddy. But these hoes is hoeing. Let's continue back with the Punisher.
I'm still trying to figure that out because after the fact, I'm the only thing that I can kind of maybe think is, there was directions, right? It was in my testimony. It was clear that it was him, I guess, somewhat in control. Not
so?
overbearingly. I mean, it was said to me this scene we were creating was for her husband, aka him. So the only thing I can say is maybe they were trying to show another element of control. And even though in my case it wasn't forceful or aggressive, but it's still another dynamic that maybe they were trying to establish.
Did you ever see cameras? or
I did
anything being
not.
filmed?
I did not. The rooms were always extremely dim and dark, just candlelit. So it was. If there were cameras, it would have to be some sort of infrared, low light scenario because it was very dark in there.
Who paid you?
Always Cassie.
Did you ever see where the money came from?
I did not. Only one time, like I said in my testimony, we were actually engaging in sexual activity, and he threw a stack of $100 bills on the bed. Cassie turned to him and asked him if everything was fine, and he just said, "I'm enjoying it."
That's
in
crazy.
So many words.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy, bro. I can't relate, bro. That's wild shit, bro. Different strokes for different folks, and it's not illegal, dog. It's not illegal, bro. Bros, Diddy threw a fucking stack of hundreds at the bro because he was stroking that bitch right, dog. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. That's why Diddy a wild boy. He a wild boy. Dog. Dog. I ain't never seen no shit like this in my life. What? But Diddy didn't look at Cassie as, Diddy don't look at women, period, as women. He probably looked at his mama as a goddamn, like, his woman. Bro, like, didn't she, like, fuck him up or something when he was younger or something, dog? But he don't look at women as women. They're definitely objects, dog. So I say that to say, like, Cassie was never his girlfriend, not nobody he loved, but that was a possession of his. But regardless, dog, you know, a man is territorial over his shit. So the fact that he out here cucking it up, letting fucking whore phalluses all up in some shit that belong to him, and throwing stacks of hundreds at him because they hitting it right. That's crazy. That's crazy, what?
And I know that money was collected after the fact and given to me. So that would be the only scenario where I guess money came directly from him by way of, slamming it on the bed, like almost like how somebody would do at at a strip club.
Yeah, bro. It's crazy.
How, when you've reflected back on your testimony, do you think that your testimony was helpful to the prosecution or the defense in any way?
I mean, going into it, I always thought that because I saw no violence or any outward aggression, I always wondered if this was more beneficial to the defense. But I don't understand the angle of how they're trying to take my testimony and connect it to what they're trying to prove. It's very nuanced what constitutes a RICO and racketeering, and I don't know enough yet. I haven't heard
You don't
enough
see
to
the
my
RICO.
testimony
Just like
behind
nobody
what
else see the
they're trying
RICO.
to prove.
One thing that Cassie said on the stand was that she wanted Diddy to know that people were not disposable. And it almost sounded like she was talking collectively about everyone involved in these sexual encounters and these so-called freak-offs. Did you yourself ever feel as though you were either disposable or that you yourself were...
All right. Well, I want to hear what he got to say about apologizing to Cassie, dog. But it's like, bro, I don't feel bad for Cassie, bro. She got everything she wanted, bro. Like, the only reprimand that Cassie has gotten up until this point, I know y'all are going to speculate about what she experienced during Diddy's reign, but she volunteered to be there, bro. But, bro, she got paid the likes of $30 million, which she should have just took the money and shut the fuck up and got the hell on, right? You know what I'm saying? But, she's now engaged in a whole humiliation ritual, dog. Like, Cassie, first of all, wasn't nobody looking at Cassie before this any fucking way. But now Cassie will only be known as the one Diddy pissed on. But no, now she gets to have this fulfillment of sorts, knowing that, she's done her duty to try to get Diddy convicted for the terror that he rained upon her, right? So it's like a win-win for her in her eyes. When Shawty, you was complicit. I ain't gonna say you was complicit the whole fucking time, bro. You know what I'm saying? I would say the first 20% of that shit, dog, you didn't know no better. You was naive. You was groomed upon. You was taken advantage of, bro. At some point, bro, 10 years, fuck out of here. Fuck out of here, bro. They just, it's Diddy's time to get assassinated, bro. And, you found an opportunity to relieve yourself of accountability, get paid off of it, and then, be the spearhead to get Diddy the fuck out of here, dog. That's bullshit. I'm not defending Diddy. I don't want that to be projected in this or conveyed in this video. I'm not at any means defending Diddy, but I'm holding the bitches accountable too. And like I said, the deeper I dive into this trial, the more I follow it, bro, the more I realize these hoes ain't shit.
Being trafficked in some way or prostituted?
No, not trafficked in some way or whatever. There was always pressure in terms of being disposable because obviously I'm there to create something, like a scene, to create an environment. So at times where there was sexual pressure, because it's out of my norm, I did have a feeling of, okay, I'm one, scenario where if I don't perform the right way, if I don't create the right ambiance, then maybe I won't get called back. But that's the most pressure that I had. There was no indication of I really believe they were just
that's a win for Diddy.
And this was a sexual fetish that they had.
Do you ever see them be affectionate during these freak-offs together?
I did not. They would never actually interact in front of me. There was like a kind of a cue where if he needed to speak
it was
to her,
straight
or have
cuck
some
shit.
sort of
That's it.
interaction with her, he would just stand up and leave the room. And if she
that's
saw
crazy.
that, she would follow him out. They would be gone 5-10 minutes. Then she'll come back and we'll resume for the most part. But no interaction in front of me. No even conversation other than his directions, which were subtle: move the light, turn your body, maybe put more oil. Those type of gestures in communication.
I wonder if Diddy rubbed his nut on his. No. Woof, bruh.
You said you wanted to, after your testimony, feel at peace with what you've said. Knowing what you do now about what Cassie Ventura has said about how she's felt about these freak-offs, what would you say to her if you could?
I would apologize. I would apologize because I had no idea, no indication what she was going through. And if, obviously my involvement kind of furthered her suffering, so just me knowing that as a man, being raised by a single mom and a grandma, just the thought of partaking in a scenario where a woman is possibly being abused is tough to hear. So, I would just apologize to her and, tell her that I was really remorseful and regret if I contributed to a bad experience for her.
You didn't, bro.
Sheree.
You didn't, dog. You didn't, bro. The Punisher. Hey, that book idea is dope, though, bro. Thoughts?